Real African stories and real African experiences. This is the Legally Clueless video series. And in this episode, Rix Poet shares about one night with a stranger that changed his life.
So it's 2014. I am, I think, 26 years old, thereabout. And I used to write a lot of erotic poems. And I mean, by those days, like Facebook groups were really active. So we had this group called Kenyan Poets Lounge, where we'd post all kinds of poems almost every day. So those days, I was a little bit happy with my writing, and I'd explore with eroticism, in my creativity. So one day I post a very nice poem that tickled some people's fancies, and there's a woman who read it and DM'd me after that. And she was like, your writing is very interesting. I wonder what it would be like to experience you physically. And I was like, yes. So what I did, I just went straight to the point. Where are you on Saturday? Straight up. And we never called each other. We were texting all the time. And she actually made that specific. She said, don't call me. Let's keep texting. And, we texted about everything. And what she'd tell me is, and I used to get this a lot from older women, that I reasoned like somebody who was really older than my age, even my texting, because a lot of people my age that time were into shorthand texting and a lot. And I mean, being a writer, I love words, so it was interesting. So we chatted about stuff like everything, relationships, religion, God, work, men, everything. And when the day approached, she told me that I should look for a place that is 45 minutes approximately, like radius from town. So that would be what? Thika, Athi River, Kitengela, wherever I could play around with location. And basically this was going to be a one-night stand from that point. And I had been to a couple, but this was going to be different because I didn't even know this person's voice. I didn't know how they looked. In fact, we described each other on text, like, this is how I look, da 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 da, and she did the same, which was very interesting. We used our imagination, and the flirting was top-notch. So Saturday is here, and by then I used to operate an event called Fatuma's Voice. So we it was like an arts thing, and people come and they do poetry and music and da da da. So usually I would run the program, and my MC was Nuru Bahati, who's like our friend. And usually I would go and tell Nuru, so and so is next on stage. Then I go to the artist, are you ready? Da da da. Nuru, this time to this time, talk about this, explore that. But this day was a little different. Usually after the event, people would flock me. Hey, Rix, give us your number. We'd like to perform next time. People are talking like, yo, the event was nice. They're there the whole night. So I remember I used to stay with my folks still, and we stayed in Athi River. So I thought, okay, maybe it would be nice to get a place near home. So I called my cousin, told her, hey, Vicky niaje. His girlfriend used to work at a hotel near home. So I called Vicky niaje, nisaidie na namba ya Nancy. Hi Nancy, kuna rooms huko kwenu, kuna food, ni how much? Nibukie room, nipikie food na come. Let me tell you, that day it got to the end of the event like this. I just vamoosed into thin air. Nobody saw me. I just told Nuru to chekiane kesho. I didn't even tell anybody where I was going. So, I mean, the adrenaline rush, nini nini. So I go to town, 110 to Athi. I got there. And then this chick had told me that when you get there, just text me the directions. Tell me all the details. I'll call you when I get there. So I sort of trusted her intuition, and then I also trusted how I communicate. So I knew, okay, it was her first time to be there, but she would get it. So I remember getting to the hotel, just making sure the room is okay, food is being prepared. I left her name at the reception so that, when she comes in, it's gonna be easier. And then I went home. I showered and waited. 11:30 p.m. Her text comes in. I'm here. Whew. And then I call my border guy. I'm nervous as hell. And I start going to that direction. So I get to the place and I don't know what to expect. Is this somebody who is coming to kill this young poet? Is it what's gonna happen? This is a stranger I met on Tuesday, like what the hell? But I was also very, I would say, adventurous. And man, it was a wild time of my life, man. What? It was a wild time of my life. And so I remember knocking the door and getting inside and seeing this voluptuous, sumptuous damsel of a human sitting in bed, eating fries and watching some weird thing on TV. First of all, I don't know why hotels have really TVs in hotels are just weird, just weird things. So I got in and she said hi to me. I was honestly really nervous, but I tried to play it out, and she made me comfortable. Then she was actually 5 years older than me, so way more mature. As in what? Hey, Maze. So I remember she called me to sit next to her, and then we just started talking about stuff, and my nerves finally settled down, and the night began. Now, the thing about that night that changed my life was the way I was introduced to sex as a guy. Was you, first of all, you're there to show how domineering you can be. You show the woman how much you know. You show the woman or your partner the strength you have. And nobody had ever told me about sex before. And in fact, the first time I had sex, for me, I had been sexually abused. And after that, I became hypersexual. So it was in my brain, I thought I was experimenting, but I was actually reacting to something and I didn't know it. The much exposure I had to sex education was porn and movies and masturbation, which was self-pleasure now, It's like experimenting with yourself. And in these porn magazines and because of those days, it was those polyphonic phones and you're there, Google is telling you page 3, you're waiting, it's loading. So this picture is coming slowly, you're waiting, you're high. Ish. It was the ghetto. But we had nothing else, so and in those videos, those pictures, men looked like they didn't really care about their partner's bodies. It was always about hump and pump, go, hump and pump, go. You really didn't learn how to even offer foreplay. You didn't learn how to understand your partner's body. You didn't know those things. So, I mean, even in the movies, like, I mean, those days, the movies these days are wild, but those days, like, I mean, you would see people are having sex, like, you know, hidden body parts and stuff like that, but it was still like the man showing strength and might and whatever. So that is the education I had. That is how I always had sex, you know, and I thought I was really good at it. You know, you come with the knowledge you have and you think, when do you say? So the sex began. I can't remember the time. Maybe it was around 1 a.m. because we had talked and talked and talked and talked. She was beautiful. We can call her Jerry. And Jerry had been hurt by her experiences with men a lot. And I just remember her saying that she doesn't trust men at all. And actually, she used to wonder how, she wondered how kind I was, because she had given up with us guys, like, you guys know, you know. So, I mean, when she came across my poem, she was really curious, like, where is this guy from? And is this real? Is this writing? Can it be actualized? You know? Yeah, and I think I was a better writer than I was a sex partner. But when you're writing, that's not what you think, you know. So, man, this was wild, man. So, when the deed began, I went to my usual manual. I mean, you know, you work with the tools you have, and I was there in a hurry, and then she was like, "Hey, hold up, you, my body is here for you the whole night. Like, haraka ni ya nini?" Unajua. And she slowed me down. She told me, we don't have to be in a hurry. You're here and I'm here, so take your time. And then she took my finger and took me through a tour of her body. These were new things to me, extremely new. And she took me through her pleasure points. Okay. This and that and that and that and that. And it was the first ever time ever in my life that I touched a woman's clitoris. I had never known even such a thing existed. Mimi, I just knew a vagina is a hole. You enter, you do your thing, you go. This thing about pleasure na sijui nani me, I didn't know those things. Hey, so I was like, hey, okay. Kumbe, even though kunaenda, unajua. That was really new. What? That was really, really new. And she also touched me in a way that I had never really been touched before. Because even as boys, like, we are never really taught to know, even look ourselves, like, in the mirror, like, look at your body. Look at your body. Like, you spend so many years with this thing, but you don't even know how it operates. So, worse off even sexually, because I think we are also socialized to over-depend on women for pleasure. So you don't know what it's like, you know, to be touched in certain places that will really give you pleasure of that sort. So women sort of have to learn their way around our bodies, because we don't know how to communicate where this feels good and that feels good and all that. Hey, so I, like, my body really felt alive, like, where am I, you know? And at that time, my brain is just running havoc, because so many things are happening at the same time. I'm being taught new stuff, and I actually really feel like an adult, like really an adult, like, hey, this is adult stuff. You know me, it's the music. And yet there were very simple things, very, very simple things. Yeah, and that night, I remember her asking me if I had ever fallen in love. And the only story I had of me having loved somebody was when I was 17 years old. And it was a girl whom I thought I'd go on to marry. We all have those dreams. And she actually left me to go get married to someone else at 19. When she was 19, and she left me to go get married to someone. Hey, I was hella heartbroken. And what I came to realize is, especially for boys and men, because we don't know how to navigate emotions a lot, our heartbreaks stay longer. Really, really long. Girls get heartbroken that time. They feel it, and then talk about it, cry, whatever. They move. Us guys, like I'll get through this. But the thing is still inside you. You don't know. So, I mean, I was 26. This thing happened to me when I was 17, but I was still thinking about it like that. Like, I kept looking for this girl in other women, because I was still stuck in there and I didn't know. So I told her, yeah, this happened to me when I was 17, and I don't think I've ever found love again. And she told me that, yeah, you were a child. Have you ever fallen in love with an adult? Hey, because first of all, I was just in new territory from the beginning. So I was like, falling in love with an adult, what is that like? So that night really, like, it changed my life. Like, I started seeing sex very differently. And now I wanted to understand my partners more, to be more present. Now sex wasn't really just about me and humping and pumping and going. It was now about the story. How are you today? What has it been like to be in your body the last 1 week? What's going on in your mind? Yeah. Where do you like being touched? I never used to ask those kind of questions. And I would also tell them, this is where I like being touched. This is what I feel when I'm touched here. And this is why also. Yeah. And I started being more mindful about pleasure and understanding that there is way much more to sex than what I see on TV, what I see in porn. And the funny thing about porn as well is, so it's very adrenaline driven, yeah, like that dopamine we're looking for. And usually, like I wrote some time back on my socials, that it's funny how, we are so detached with our bodies, in the sense that, like, when you're watching porn and then immediately after you release, you shut it off. As if you're hiding, as if it's something shameful now. Like, this thing has become dirty all of a sudden. Now you want to do away with it, You don't even wait to see if these guys also had pleasure. Mpaka mwisho, like, what? Ushamalizana now, till next time. There's just some detachment that is there, because there's a wholesomeness that sex has, even if it's a quick, like, there's just a humane nature to it that we miss a lot of times, because we don't understand each other, we don't understand our bodies, we don't communicate, and sex is presented to us as this gruesome thing that we do to just jack off one another, and that's it. So what happened is, first of all, now we woke up on Sunday. Man, we were so tired. And because these hotels now, you have to leave at 10 a.m. And you're like, why? It's a Sunday. I say, so we had to go to Kitengela, and I was hella sleepy. And then we had brunch. And she had energy for more, so she was like, if she had time, we would go at it again. And I just wanted to sleep. What? Because, man, that night was a lot. It was a lot. And after that, actually, I think we talked through the day, and then she just faded off. She just disappeared. Yeah, in fact, because I wrote about this story in 2016, I used to wonder, like, where she ever went to. I couldn't find her on her socials, even when I was trying to look for her name with other accounts. Like, I just don't know where she went. And it was interesting, because to me now later it felt like, oh, maybe you just needed to meet this person for this particular lesson, and that was all. Yeah, and from then on, things have really changed and morphed as well. And I have come to realize how the interrelation between presence of body and presence of mind and presence of spirit can really revolutionize your life. Yeah. So I think through the quality of my sex the same way I think through the quality of what I feed my mind with, the same way I think of the quality of the food I take, the quality of energy around me, people around me, the work I'm doing, and everything, because all of those things are connected. And seeing that in the world I live in, it's almost like your sexual life is different from who you are. It has to be different. This thing you do in hiding, and then who you are during the day is somebody else or different. Why? I want to be me everywhere. I want you to meet this Rix in bed and meet this Rix with the same sex appeal in a studio and the same Rix in the street. Like, this is just me. Why do I have to compartmentalize myself to fit different places? I mean, we are all complex human beings in different ways. So what I really appreciated about that night and about the lady is she taught me how to slow down, yeah, and to be more present in the moment, to enjoy something, to enjoy my partner's body, to enjoy my body as well, and not just have sex as if it was some ball I was kicking, have sex as if it's actually tea that I'm enjoying. Yeah.
Thanks for watching this episode. Remember, you can catch new Legally Clueless video episodes every Friday and new audio episodes every Monday.